Have you ever found yourself in a relationship wondering, am I a partner or am I just convenient? It's a really tough spot to be in, and honestly, it can leave you feeling drained and confused. So today, we're going to get crystal clear on the signs that show whether someone genuinely cares about you or is just using you.
Think about it. You're the go-to person for everything. The emergency ride, the late-night vent session, the easy +1. But when it comes to your life, your dreams, your struggles, your big wins, it's just crickets. Especially with all the situationships and vague connections today, it's so easy to get lost in these blurry lines and not know where you really stand.
Hey, and before we jump in, if this is the kind of stuff you're trying to figure out, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon. That way, you won't miss out on any more content that helps you navigate all this.
All right, so to make this super clear, we've broken these signs down into 4 main parts. First, we'll look at the communication test. Then we'll get into the commitment question. After that, we'll cover the resource drain. And finally, we'll talk about the emotional toll and how this all really makes you feel.
Okay, let's start with the communication test. The real question here isn't about how often they text or call you. It's about why they do it. Is it a real conversation, or has your phone basically become their personal request line?
What we're talking about is a pattern of convenience communication. Basically, their contact with you is almost always conditional. It's not a, hey, thinking of you kind of thing. It's a, hey, I need something from you kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? Your phone buzzes and it's because they need a ride, or they need to borrow some money again, or someone else bailed on them and they need a last-minute favor. Or maybe it's just that late-night ooh-up text. But when you get a promotion at work or you're just having a really bad day, complete radio silence. That huge imbalance, it's a major, major red flag.
And that leads us right into our second area, the commitment question. This is that classic modern-day dilemma where someone wants all the perks of being in a relationship with you, but with absolutely none of the responsibility that comes with it.
So on one hand, they absolutely love getting your emotional support. They're all for physical intimacy. They might even appreciate you helping them out with stuff around their place. But the second you try to have that "what are we" talk or even hint at a label, they dodge, duck, and dive. They want nothing to do with it.
And you'll hear those classic lines, won't you? Things like, oh, I don't really do labels, or my personal favorite, I'm just protecting my peace right now. Look, most of the time, these are just convenient excuses to keep getting all the benefits of being with you without ever actually committing to you. It keeps you in limbo.
Next up, let's talk about the resource drain. Now we're moving past just words and feelings and into the tangible stuff, your time, your money, your connections. This is where you have to ask yourself a really hard question. Am I their partner or am I just their provider?
And a big part of that is financial. Does it feel like you're always the one paying for dates? Or maybe they have this endless string of emergencies where they just need a little cash to get by. Or what about this? They only ever want to do expensive things that, surprise, they expect you to pay for. It doesn't take long to start feeling less like a partner and more like a walking, talking ATM. And that brings us to another resource they might be using, your social life. Or more accurately, keeping you out of theirs. There's a term for it, pocketing. It's when someone deliberately keeps you a secret from their world. You're not on their social media, you've never met their friends or family, and let me be clear, this is not an accident. It's a conscious decision.
So why do they do it? Well, the reason is usually pretty simple and pretty selfish. By keeping you hidden away, they can go out into the world and present themselves as totally single. It lets them keep their options wide open, pursuing other people without you ever getting in the way. You're for their private time, not their public life.
Another huge sign of a resource drain is when everything feels transactional. It's like they're keeping score. Here's how it works. They'll do one small favor for you, but then they bring it up constantly. They use it as leverage to guilt you into doing something way bigger for them. The result? You always feel like you owe them something. It's a terrible feeling.
Okay, and finally, let's get to what is maybe the most important sign of all, the emotional toll. This is where you stop analyzing their words and actions and just check in with yourself. How does this whole thing actually make you feel? Just look at this contrast. When you're together, their focus is all on them. Sure, they can be charming, and they have absolutely no problem venting to you for hours about their problems. But what about your inner world, your passions, your goals, your fears, your actual life story? Do they ever ask? If the answer is no, then the emotional side of this thing is completely one-sided.
And this really just says it all. If you're the one doing all the listening, all the supporting, and all the caretaking, and they're just doing all the talking and taking,
You're not a partner. You're being used as an emotional dumping ground.
So, what happens when you finally try to stand up for yourself? Well, a person who values you will respect your boundaries. But a person who's using you, they see your boundaries as an obstacle. And they'll try to gaslight you. They'll get angry or try to make you feel guilty, all in an effort to manipulate you into giving them what they want. You might say no to something, and suddenly you're being accused of being selfish. Or they'll guilt trip you, reminding you of that one thing they did for you 6 months ago. Or they might even pull a total 180 and start love bombing you, suddenly being super sweet and affectionate, but only to get you to lower your guard and drop your boundary.
At the end of the day, you can forget everything else and just ask yourself this one simple question. After I spend time with this person, how do I feel? Do I feel energized and supported, or do I feel completely and totally drained?
And please, listen to that feeling. That sense of being completely wiped out after you see them is not just in your head. It is a powerful, real, physiological sign that you are giving way more than you are getting. Trust it. Your body knows the truth way before your mind wants to accept it.
I love this metaphor because it's so perfect. If you feel like a vending machine where they only show up to push your buttons to get what they want and then they just walk away and ignore you the rest of the time, it is absolutely time to reevaluate.
Because this is the big takeaway here. You deserve to be in a relationship where you are valued for who you are, your thoughts, your personality, your dreams, not just for what you can do for someone else.
So, I want to ask you, have you ever experienced any of these signs? Did any of this feel a little too familiar? Let's talk about it in the comments. Sharing your story can be so powerful, and you never know who you might help just by sharing what you've been through. Thank you so much for tuning in.